मैले सुरु गरेँ है त रेकर्डिङ यो चाहिँ अफिसियल पर्पजको लागि हामी रेकर्ड गर्छौँ गुड मर्निङ गुड आफ्टरनुन एभ्रीवन I would like to invite you all to the defense session of Sanjay Kumar Pant. Sanjay ji was supervised by Dr. Manoj Pandey from Norwegian University of Life Sciences and myself from Kathmandu University. And he worked under the project through Pantara, and there was one component called school gardening, and he did his research through participatory action research. So, Sanjay ji, you are ready to, and your external examiner is Dr. Viva. So you will start. You will make the presentation in 25 minutes. So time starts in 1 minute. And that will be followed by the comments from external examiner and also the comments from committee members. Okay, and then this is second session, and final session will evaluate your dissertation, and then we'll declare the result in the final last session. So Manu sir, welcome to the session as well. I've just announced that Sanjay ji will make a presentation for 25 minutes, and then the external examiner, Dr. Hriday Bajracharya, will provide comments, and then the committee members will also provide comments and ask questions. Okay. So in the second session, we'll do the evaluation based on the presentation and dissertation written by Sanjay Kumar Panta, and finally we declare the result. Okay, now over to you, Sanjay ji. You have 25 minutes. I'll give you 1 minute transition. So meaning that you should be finishing by 3:29, meaning, okay, 3:30. Okay, so 3:30 is the last leg of your presentation. Okay, 3:30 ma tapaile सक्नु पर्यो. Okay, so over to you.
Thank you, respected Dean sir, research committee member, external examiner sir, and the faculties.
Can you make it full screen? Full screen. Sound सुनिया है नहीं तपाईको? मेरो सुनिया छ कि छैन? तपाई बोल्नु भएको छ कि छैन? I don't know.
आवाज चाहिँ अलिकति सुनिया मसिनो छ.
अघि सुनिया थियो.
डिन सरको सुनिया छ तर सञ्जय जीको सुनिया छैन.
Okay.
Sir,
you can click on this not the this presentation mode, but in the open book mode. त्यहाँ open book छ, त्यसमा क्लिक गर्नुस्. Then you can make the slide bigger. Okay. खै त के भयो? Is there something you need help?
Sir, is it full screen now?
केही समस्या भयो त्यहाँ?
उहाँ फेरि जोइन हुनुभयो सर.
Can you test your sound? बोल्नुस् त.
सरले माइक्रोफोन युज नगर्नु सर, अघि
अनम्युट गरेर बोल्नुस् त. अनि यो बुकको साइनमा क्लिक गर्नुस् न, बुक ओपन बुकको साइनमा. ओपन बुक बोल्नुस् त.
सर ऑडिबल छु सर अहिले?
मैले मात्रै नसुने हो कि अरूले नसुन्नु भएको? साउन्ड आएको छैन सर. इफ यु आर स्पिकिङ
सुनेको छैन हैन? हामीले स्पष्टै सुनेको छ
छैन सर. साउन्ड छैन.
अन्य समस्या छ.
तपाई त्यो ओपन बुक छ नि तल 63% देखाएको छ, त्यसको ठाउँमा प्रेजेन्टेसन मोड छ, त्यसको अझ यतापट्टि ओपन बुक छ, त्यहाँ क्लिक गर्नुस् न. तपाईले सुन्नु भएको छैन कि? खै बोली पनि आउँदैन, अघिसम्म आइरहेको थियो.
बोल्ने भएको सन्जय सर बोल्नु.
तपाईले त्यो साउन्ड त्यो बिचमा उ नराखिकन बोल्दा बेटर होला हैन? तपाईको साउन्ड आएको छैन.
यसो गर्नु न, तपाईले इन्टायर स्क्रिनै शेयर गर्नुस् अनि पावर पोइन्ट खोल्नुस्, अनि दैट इज बेस्ट सोलुसन एट दिस स्टेज, एन्ड चेन्ज टु द फुल स्क्रिन मोड.
साउन्ड आएको छैन. बोली हेर्नुस् त.
हजुर सर, अहिले साउन्ड आएको छ सर? आएको छ
अलि सानो छ ल ठिकै छ ल
आएको छ
ओके
अलि सानो आएको
ओपन
छ
दिस ठिक छ अब यसलाई ओके गो टु देयर ओके नाउ गो
This
अन
is
गो अन
better.
ल
बोलिहेर्नुहोस् त अब
हजुर सर अहिले ठिक छ सर
मैले चाहिँ सुनेको छु फेरि
नो साउन्ड
ठिक छ सर ठिक छ अहिले साउन्ड
मेरो
आएको
सर सुनिया छ
डिन
छ सर
सरबाट
छ शून्य छ
मैले सुनिया छ डिन सरकोमा पुगेको छ डिन सरकोमा
सर
केही त्यहाँ
हजुरकैमा
अब्स्ट्रक्सन
नसुन्ने हो कि नाउ इट इज फाइन
मेरो पो सुन्नु
ठिक छ ल गो अन
ओके सो स्टार्ट द प्रेजेन्टेसन
Respected Dean Sir, Research Committee Member, External Examiner Sir, and faculties, Namaste. I am Sanjaya Kumar Pant, MPhil Scholar at Kathmandu University School of Education. My research topic is use of school gardening as STEAM pedagogy, a study through participatory action research. First of all, I will be presenting my presentation outline, where the after setting the context, I will be moving on to the literature review and theoretical discussion, followed by the research methodology. Then I'll put forward the phases of school gardening, and then the research findings, and finally with the reflection, conclusion, and the implications of this research. Let me move on to the background of this research. I'd like to recall my primary schooling, where I was with grandfather before the beginning of the formal schooling. But I, along with my grandfather, used to rear the cattle uh, in our home. But as I move on to the formal schooling, the context was a bit changed. The classroom were devoid of cattle. It can be said as a kind of decontextualized curricula, as cited in Bajracharya, Brower, Luitel, and Panther. So I came to know that the worldwide effort is going on towards connecting various disciplines and develop STEAM-based approach in teaching and learning. And still, on the same way, looking onto the national context, there were green school guidelines which says there should be one garden in one schools and the integrated curriculum. And along with this, the purpose of the project Rupantaran, which helps us to apply innovative inquiry-based learning in order to develop teachers' capacity. All these things have set the background to work on school gardening as my research. So moving on to the problem statement, especially the research carried out by NASA, ERO, they are saying time and again that Nepali students are a bit poorer in the mathematics and science. Basically, we are good in recalling type of work, but less smart in higher order thinking skills. On the same way, Taylor 2016 said the STEAM is also used to prepare critical and creative citizens. So see, and the international context where the students are less pursuing science and mathematics as their major, and on the other hand, Nepali students are less performing in the science and mathematics. On this crossroad, I make a purpose of my study, which is to explore the school gardening as a STEAM pedagogy in the context of public school situated in semi-rural settings, growing three different research questions. The first one is, in what ways does teachers and students work towards contextualizing curricula through school gardening? The second one is, how does school gardening evolve as a pedagogical model in STEAM-based learning? And the last one is, what are the challenges and prospects to implement school gardening as STEAM pedagogy? Now, let me say a little about the STEAM education. While moving from STEM to STEM as generally considered as a workforce development paradigm to the STEAM as a transformative perspective, there were various informations and the dimensions added to the STEAM in order to make it STEAM. So the techno-pedagogy, arts integrated STEAM, arts integration in STEAM education, design thinking approach, along with the transformative perspective, have transformed STEM into STEAM. So now from this theme, I'd like to just segregate or differentiate what the school gardening actually is in my research. So school gardening is an approach of teaching curricula in garden-based setting, whereas STEAM is about exploring curriculum links between science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. STEAM collaborates with STEAM subjects and areas in contextualizing curricula, whereas school gardening collaborates with learners largely away from the school boundaries in the school garden. Uh, and, and STEAM education focuses on solving real world problems in a given social context, whereas school gardening focuses on solving the real world problem, maintaining the ecological balance in a bit social context, but considering the ecological balance as well. So now about the school garden, place-based pedagogy and the sustainability. Uh, so there were considerable efforts going on in school garden in the global context. Students who gardened had better attitude towards learning and to greater satisfaction in their work, as suggested in the Blair 2009. Along with that, researchers such as Chow in 2023 have digitalized human faces in the school garden, where he used human faces as a standard of money to purchase meal, to buy vegetables, or for the transportation. In local context, the school gardening, especially the eco-sand toilets used in school gardening, has been used as a very interesting insights and a teaching and learning tool. Whereas mm, whereas the if we cite the David Showell, the Showell has considered garden-based learning as broadly as a place-based pedagogy, where the garden or the place-based pedagogy could be a great initiation to learn various things such as language, arts, social studies, mathematics, and science. So now moving on to my theoretical lenses, I used two approaches, two lenses to view on this research. The first one is experimental learning, experiential learning of John Dewey, and the transformative learning of Mejiro. Uh, I was more fascinated with the ideas of John Dewey, while he said especially the essence of learning should go far beyond the classroom. We can, if we incorporate the occupations such as sewing, weaving, or woodworking, uh, that would definitely give a sort of experiential learning, a new type of learning. And another approach, theoretical lens, I developed from the Mejiro. I considered from the Mejiro, where the questing researcher and co-researchers' worldview, by questioning on our belief system, values, and the feelings and the assumptions, actually we could promote culturally contextualized curricula. Reviewing onto the empirical literature, there were considerable research happened in the past, especially in the science and mathematics curricula of ours, which are being decontextualized. And then the interdisciplinary approach developed to solve those problems. And then the garden-based learning, which was used as an excellent tool to connect various disciplines. And then in our context, in Nepali context, the research carried by Acharya, Devkota, and Baral, they have suggested that teachers and students have been appreciating the integration of school gardening in teaching and learning purposes. Now, mapping onto my research journey, I'd like to say about my epistemological assumption, where the uh, we, the researcher and co-researcher, are involved in creating the knowledge, whereas my ontological assumption is that we, while being critical and being transformational and as activists, we just create the knowledge, and then while creating the knowledge, we have to value the researchers and co-researcher during the process of research. And my research has been used as my research methodology, and Actually, the acronym used in PAR were participation, action, and then the research are the lime, are the limestone, are the lamppost of my research methodology. And actually, the reason behind choosing the participatory action research is because it is justice. It gives justice to the participants. It is user friendly in design, and it brings a kind of deep engagement in the field, which I sought so far. So the research design I employed is the paradigmatic. In multi-paradigmatic research design, I used positivism, criticalism, interpretivism, and postmodernism. Uh, regarding the positivism, I use experiential. The school gardening research work has been initiated with experiential, experimental research design, and then the criticalism, and then the interpretivism with the researcher and co-researcher regarding the school garden, and then the use of various genres of arts as a it became a kind of multi-paradigmatic research design. And I also considered socio-scientific issues, SSI, during the process. It is because socio-scientific issues, especially, it is used to address the controversial decision-making process by giving the moral reasoning. And in my research design, I have used human urine and the biochar, and they could create they might create some sort of moral dilemma, so that I use SSI to discuss with my co-researcher regarding the why we are using urine as a fertilizer in the research process. So besides SSI, the as a methodological contribution, narrative inquiry has been used because it is an excellent tool to understand the approach to understand the human experiences. And now let us move on to the research side. It is My research site is one of a community school in semi-rural settings in Namabuddha municipality of Cabre, and teachers, students, SMC members, and the community members are considered as the co-researcher. And before moving on to the field, there were masters and PhD scholars who carried baseline survey, and those surveys were considered as a need identification for my research as well. And besides that, I just interacted with SMC members, teachers, and students in my several visits. In the research site. And I considered national and international context, where the international integrated curriculum and the Green School Guideline and the Sustainable Development Goal were also considered as my research, supported my research. Now, during the process, the meaning making of my actions and reflections were undertaken by systematically categorizing of the data, and then coding, and then the meaning making process. Finally, the themes were designed, themes were created, and we discussed on the events by illuminating the actually values and assumptions and deep-seated beliefs and practices of the co-researchers and other stakeholders with the ideas of critical reflections. Thus, this is how we made the meaning. And during the research process, we need to maintain the ethics and the quality standards. So actually, I just considered authenticity, credibility, transferability, dependability, conformability, pedagogical thoughtfulness as my quality standards. And then during the process, I just before the onset of the research journey, I said with my participants that they could they should quit. They could quit from the research whenever they want, and then they have the right to quit. And besides that, I made no such segregations on the basis of gender, sexual orientations, assumed abilities, economic status, disabilities, etc. Now, regarding my participatory action research, the matrix I have developed is there were 2 cycles undertaken. In the first cycle, there were 3 phases, and the first phase I made I understood the obstacles that were there on the way to undertake school gardening. I unfolded the challenges during in the pandemic, and then I moved on to just started interacting with the co-researchers. And in the third phase, I collaborated with the teachers, parents, and the community members. And in the second cycle, we made enhanced interactions with the learners, and those activities were carried in from 24th September 2019 to May 2022. And regarding the PAR cycle, it consists of 4 distinct steps. First, the observation, followed by the planning, and then the actions or the interventions, and finally the reflections. In the observations, I reviewed the order activities carried by the pool of researchers from the university, observed the school resources, and then reviewed the existing situations. And then in the planning stage, we made a periodic meetings with the co-researchers and the stakeholders, and made action plans. And in the action, we just worked on the forming the school garden by making a school gardening club. Then we hired the level we hire the land, appropriate land, and then we leveled the land, then constructed eco-sand unit upon it, and then constructed temporary urinary, making CCTs, pond. Besides that, we designed the poly house, worked on the germination and plantation and harvesting of the crops. Finally, we incorporated artificial intelligence in school gardening, and then we shared our understanding among the researchers and co-researchers. Finally, in the reflection, we critically evaluated I critically evaluated the actions and making revised action plan for the second cycle. Now, moving on to the preparatory phase. The preparatory phase is what we were with teachers and students. In the preparatory phase, we formed school gardening clubs. We managed the land mass. We constructed ecological sanitation, in short, eco-san, and water management system as well. This phase, the preparatory phase, had answered my first research question, that is, in what ways does school garden a school works towards contextualizing the curricula through school gardening? In this phase, while working on the preparatory phase, I came upon the 5 different themes, such as being in a team in search of school garden, the pandemic, situation of pandemic, where we explored the alternative possibilities, and the ecosan as a tool to stand up on our own feet, and finally redefining our sustainability while working on the pond and CCTs. Now, let me elaborate in detail about these specific themes. While we work on the...
Time is running out. Fast.
Okay. So while being in the team, following the reflections or the realization, while being in a team of co-researcher, primarily I made following realization. The first one is the researcher is responsible or should be prepared to onset the discussion process with the complete honesty and sincerity. Besides that, the PAR as a process strictly demands the dynamic interactions and requirement of both researchers and co-researchers. Also, rapport building and with co-researchers is a slow process, steady process, and it might take from hours to days. And the researcher and co-researchers should be equally credited for the constructions of knowledge. And the last one is the first step towards contextualizing the curricula it begins with appreciating the local knowledge and the resources. And besides that, while we started working on school gardening, the pandemic just took place, and just then during that hard time, we started exploring some alternative possibilities. But while we started working on the virtual on the alternative way of teaching and learning, a question that was haunting us was, does online education works? And then actually, but while we started working with co-researchers from Kathmandu in online mode, we just learned, or it equipped us with the newer skills and communication, so as to maintain the social, while maintaining the social distancing as well. And during the process, I just want to recall here, one of the teachers said, like, teaching through online is a terrible challenge on those days. Especially, the teacher pointed three challenges: but the lack of smartphone at that time, a poor economic conditions to afford the data packages by the students, and the absence of online cultures in the learners. Then slowly the pandemic situation just diminished, somehow slowed down, and then we started working on the physical mode, joining the field. And the first activity we did was we hired the land, school gardening, and then started constructing eco-sand on it. Eco-sand, ecological sanitation, which is actually, let me tell what it is about. It is about just the system where it safeguards environment, conserves water, recovers and recycles nutrients, and add organic matter back to the soil in order to avoid the disease and promote health. And for this, we did four things. First one is collection of urine from the urinary, and then transportation of the collected urine to the school garden, and then management of and then dilution of the urine in the school garden, and then distribution onto the research plot. This is the schematic diagram. While working on the school, while working on the eco-sand, I'd like to just put forth few data which are somehow important. Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, annually they sell urea, DAP, potash in a large quantity. And if we look at the CBS data, then they say that the population of Nepal has reached 29,192,480 in 2021. Now, if we could collect the urine from entire human population of Nepal, then it could we could collect more urea than what the MOALD has been distributing, or what the current demand is. We can just outreach the current demand. So eco-sand the fertigation using the urine, human urine, could really help us to stand on our own feet. Besides that, we need to work on the ponds and CCTs, because the problem we saw on the Namo Buddha on our research site was the loss of soil, and it was so evident as the lack of water. So we started building the CCTs, continuous contour trenches, and pond, in order to make the groundwater recharge system and collect more and more water, and also prevent the soil erosion. And while working on the CCTs and pond, we started redefining the sustainability. And at this point, while working on the preparatory stage, this is all about the preparatory stage. And while let me sum up all the preparatory work we carried on the preparatory phase, then we could just answer the first research question. The first research question was, in what ways does school garden work towards contextualizing curricula through school gardening? And the answers could be enabled with various kinds of soft skills, such as collaboration with the co-researchers, communication, critical thinking, etc., which we harnessed in the team of co-researchers. If we could work towards utilization and appreciations of local resources in a sustainable way, then certainly we could succeed in the journey of contextualizing curricula as well. So after the preparatory phase, we moved on to the gardening phase, where activities such as construction of polyhouse, designing research plots, seed sowing, plantations, and the management of the fertigation were the major works. And this gardening phase has partially it answers my second question, that is, how does school gardening evolve as a new pedagogical model in STEAM-based learning? We had generated a few themes. let me go in detail about them. So about the design, about the poly house, while working on the poly house, we just went through the design thinking approach. And while working on EcoSan, in the school gardening, we made an experimental design where we made a triplicates of 4 plots for the plantation of tomatoes, cabbage, capsicum, and the brinjal. Altogether, there were the 12 plots, triplicates of each. And then this diagram shows the how we gardened and the gardening inside the polytunnel. And then we applied in the in the in the triplicates. The first triplicate control was considered as the first triplicate. Second was where we use the chemical fertilizer, this is CF. Third one is where we administer urine as a fertilizer, and fourth where we use urine along with biochar as a fertilizer. And in the control, we use only water, no fertilizer was added there. In the chemical fertilizer, was added as a basal dressing, I mean in the soil, and urine was used as a top dressing, and urine along with biochar was used as a top dressing as well as a basal dressing. And the fertigation was used for 60 minutes per day. And this is how this is the mean value of the crop yield as affected by various treatment groups. In the control, we harvested 91 kg of tomatoes. In the chemical fertilizer group, we harvested 93 kg. In the control group, we harvested 20 kg of the crops, whereas in using the chemical fertilizer, we harvested 58 kg of the crops. In the plot where we used urine, we harvested 63 kg of vegetables, whereas urine and biochar enhanced the production to the 84 kg. So this is the varying amount of yield of the vegetables. And after post farming, we just went through the soil sampling, and we came to know that the nitrogen was considerably higher in the urea and in the urine and biochar treated plots. So we also came to learn about we need to appreciate local resources and knowledge while working on the organic way of pesticide management. One of the teachers said he said that during the process we encountered various diseases in a plant, and they say like यो सूर्यको निर्मलीकरण हामीले गरेका छौं बारीमा, र यसले नै गर्दा यसो गर्दा पनि रोग कहाँबाट आयो हामीले खोज्नु पर्छ. So they are very curious and understanding the why, how the plants are infected. So then we started working on the locally prepared biopesticides. And then besides preparing locally prepared biopesticides, we learned that there should be considerable interactions between community and the partnership. And then actually the relevance or the value the faculty assigns to the farm visit to their students, or the integration of the field-based activities in the curricula could be a good indicator of the university community partnership as well. So, and then I would like to say here that the future of community university partnership will greatly depend upon the compromises, promises, or the commitment we made to the community members. Besides that, we started questioning that why we have been considering urine as a waste product since time immemorial. Since why the urine could we use urine as a potent source of local fertilizer, and then could we design our pedagogies, our curriculum pedagogy, so as to appreciate the local resources and knowledge as well. So then in the research site where in the research site of Namo Buddha, we learned that it reflects the Nepal's history of enlightenment as it incorporates the Vedic, Videha, Janak, and the Buddhist tradition as well. So then actually I learned that we could contextualize our curricula valuing the local resources as well as our very much rich wisdom traditions. Now the harvesting phase, which is the last phase of my research journey. In this research journey, the research question, my second research question, that is how does school gardening evolve as a new pedagogical model of school gardening, is being answered here. And while harvesting, actually harvesting is all about the collections. It consists of the stories that we collected while while we harvest the vegetables in the gardens and we supply the vegetables to the local market. We made various themes such as the building local economies, integrating artificial intelligence in the gardening, and the exploring STEAM projects. If we could work on just field-based engagement with students and teachers, actually one day we could certainly drive our schools into engine of innovations also. And besides that, we learned that the high possibility, there is a high possibility that schools themselves can derive a lot of financial benefit from this kind of projects. Not only this, in a place where school parents have very poor economy, the school gardening can work as a way to boost rural economy, local economy as well. And then if we could establish school as a center of knowledge production and innovation, then it will soon bring local firms and organizations to cooperate schools. In this way, we can revive our school in a new role and as a center of knowledge as well. So during the harvesting phase and while interacting with the co-researchers, as we acted on EcoSan embedded school garden, we learned that participatory action research is a very important approach, a way of self-transformation as well. And then we moved on to integrating artificial intelligence in school garden, and it was more evident with the context that that many of our vegetables were just damaged because of the pest, despite using the organic pest management. Okay, so and we researcher and co-researcher, we discussed about designing some ingenious way of solving these problems. But the situation is that there were no such availability of agro-technicians or the plant pathologists in the nearby area. So we started searching in the literature and then discussion, and then we learned that why don't we incorporate artificial intelligence in school garden. And then we set a workshop where we discussed, we saw the videos and interacted about the robotic activities of the IBM robot, Boston Dynamics, and Google's driverless car, etc. Then finally, we designed a 1-month course of basic electronics and electricity for the students and the teachers, so as to get some foundational knowledge about designing a robot that could just inspect the crop automatically. And then we started designing crop monitoring robot, and during the process we learned that they actually we learned that while our co-researchers involved in the process of integrating artificial intelligence, they were bombarded with a series of soft skills that are necessary to adapt in the 21st century complex world environment. And this is how the artificial intelligence, the intelligent device worked. First, we collected the diseased leaf, and then the images were processed, and finally the features were extracted, they were classified, and finally the disease was diagnosed. We used deep learning as the algorithm to design this robot. And finally, we started designing STEAM projects in a setting of school gardening. The importance of this school gardening research project is that a teacher who once used to spend most of the leisure time in non-educational discourses were unbelievably absorbed in designing STEAM projects. And together, teachers prepared STEAM projects for 25% of their lessons. And here is a sample of the school of a project co-researchers, especially teachers, have designed. The title is "Farming with Urine: Is it Possible?" And there were and they set some objectives such as like importance of urine as a fertilizer, and some like special some questions such as why fertilizers are important. Have you used urine before in your farmland? And then finally, and besides that, teachers have also designed some assessment plan incorporating the knowledge the skills as well as the presentation, strength of presentation of the learners. And the second research question here, I'd like to just discuss about my second research question, which is about like how the school gardening could evolve as a new pedagogical model in STEAM-based learning. And the answer could be just school gardening, which is a place-based education, which used school gardening as a learning tool in a loosely experiential learning setting, could evolve as a new model or foundation of STEAM or integrated learning in and across the discipline, in which learners could have direct hands-on experiences and could construct new knowledge, skills, and values so as to transform we and our realities. So it is with the experiential learning, incorporating hands-on experiences, we could, our school gardening could evolve as a new pedagogical model in STEAM-based learning. Now, I'm moving on to the somehow end of my presentation. This school gardening, which is also considered as a new pedagogical model in my research, had generated some findings, or has condensed all of the themes that I discussed earlier. The major one is, I could summarize it in three themes. The first one is the perspectival shift. It is most important. I mean, by perspectival shift, I mean like, if we could just analyze our habit of minds, our experiences, then definitely it could be a wonderful beginning to start the school gardening or the contextualization of our curricula. And then the school garden, which is built not for school and community, rather with school and with the community. So it can be a birth of Nepali STEAM, our original STEAM, our knowledge and our knowledge, and using our knowledge and resources. This school gardening can be a Nepali STEAM, Nepali model of STEAM education. And another one is, while reviewing our journey from Neolithic revolution to Industry 4.0, I'd like to question where we stand. Basically, it is not in terms of only physical prosperity, rather in terms of pedagogical awareness also. We are lacking far behind. So an immediate discourse or the course correction could be or would be to wisely incorporate school gardening and garden-based learning in our education. And my reflections and conclusion is just creating responsible learner. I came to reflect that creating responsible learner. The school gardening could be a wonderful tool to solve real world problems, so as to create a responsible learner as well. And then the development of entrepreneurial skills in the learner. While I review the school's master plan after the school gardening project, like एक व्यावसायिक सिप सिक्दै र कमाउँदै, so the school gardening can be a wonderful tool for entrepreneurial learning as well. It can be a source for transformative learning experiences, as well as enhancing collaboration and communication, and for holistic development of the learners also. The implication of my research is for the government, and it could answer like why and how school gardening can be used from federal to local level, and for schools and universities, that it could just fuel the teachers and teacher educators for the ways to find contextualizing curricula, and even for community researcher, policymaker, curriculum developers, writers. This research can be of immense value. And these are my references. I'd like to thank to my supervisors, mentorship team for timely supervision and guidance. Also, I'd like to thank Rupantaran team for providing my research, the research assistance. And this is the picture I got just 1 hour before from one of the teacher from my research site. Just we have planted kiwi, and they have started harvesting kiwi as well. So thank you so much. I'd like to thank.
Thank you, sir. About you might continue for another hour, so I just stop here. Thank you very much. It's lengthy, but you capture the entirety. And I also acknowledge the presence of Dr. Manoj Kumar Pandey from Norwegian University of Life Sciences. I think I can see his office, so he's from there. Okay, I think you are hearing very clearly. Okay, thank you. Now the external examiner, Dr. Professor Hriday Bajracharya, provided comments, and Sanjay ji also write his clarification and addressed the comments to some extent, I suppose. Now I would like to invite Hriday sir for comments and question, and then after you, research committee members will speak. Okay, over to you, sir.
Thank you. Namaste.
Sir, namaskar.
Let me begin by saying knowledge, acknowledging the importance of three triple gems, three Ratna we call. The first Ratna is knowledge, Buddha. The second is the right action, Dharma. And the third is Sangha, coming together, joining together. Well, thank you very much, Balkrishna sir, Professor Balchandra Luitel sir, for giving me this opportunity to assess the thesis. And my sadhubat to Sanjaya Kumarji. I am really fascinated by his title, and then going through his thesis. I am really enchanted reading his thesis. And this is something what I have been really dreaming of bringing in our school system, transforming our school, contextualizing our school to our living context, and making it relevant, useful, and beneficial for the community, for the person, and also enhancing the learning, finally empowering the student to become a capable citizen. Use of school gardening as team pedagogy, study through participatory action research. Very interesting. So I really appreciated the title and efforts, all the efforts made. While reading the thesis, this is for evaluation. This is the MPhil research dissertation. And this dissertation is at stake for evaluation. So whenever we consider certain write-up, certain effort, not only write-up, but the academic action and write-up, they are always tied up with the main intention and the purpose. And the intention and purpose here is to evaluate whether you are fulfilling all the requirement of MPhil research, right? So in that way, what I found is all the write-up that you have assembled, that you have accumulated, so many things you can later on use them. There are so many stories. Each story has a very potential of revealing something new. That is one part. But that is really making this thesis a very big and cumbersome for evaluation. So that is one of my comment which you have tried to address by minimizing your explanation and the stories. Also, my question in using the photographs, the pictures, you have also used the pictures of individual persons, including the former minister. I presume you have taken permission from them to use the pictures. Normally, that kind of presentation is not advisable in a thesis or in a formal writing because negatively, some people may take it negatively, some people may take it too much overtly positively. Both are not the purpose of and research. So I have put that mark in the thesis in annotated comment to you, but you have not really addressed that part because it may be taken as somebody may take it as a propaganda as well. So that we must be very careful. This is your thesis, and this has a thesis has a different credibility, different. It's a requirement in its presentation. It needs to be objective and always avoiding the extremes, always taking the middle path in a very genuine way. The other comment I have is you have you have tried to cover so many things. The experimentation, the technology, the management of urine collection and distribution, even AI. So many things. I really appreciate your enthusiasm, but those enthusiasm are not necessarily part and parcel of your dissertation, research and dissertation. I wished that you have focused more on the research question you have generated in a very professional way. When I say professional way, this is education-based thesis. So in education-based thesis, you should bring more of the educational aspect as well. I do appreciate your background and your effort to bring your expertise, your knowledge, your skill of science and technology, including farming, including plant, including soil, including engineering, everything. It's very appreciable. That proves your ability, but they should be a different writing, and you can bring indicative aspect here that you have these expertise which you have done. But nonetheless, you should focus more on the 3 research questions you have generated. And the 3 research questions are very pertinent. I really appreciated your capture of the 3 research questions. And in the research question, I have highlighted in green the word, the concept that you need to specifically address. Yeah. In what ways those teachers and students, 3 concepts, in what ways teachers and students does work towards contextualizing curricula. So I was expecting teachers. So teachers, how teachers contextualize, how students contextualize. Of course, your write-up is so big, so I can find out. And perhaps you might have presumed that you have put up there. But it took me very long effort to really find out, okay, you have mentioned this. This must be what you would have meant. That way, I have to interpret to get that answer. But this is not, in research should be very direct. Research should be very direct. At the end of the this research, everybody will be asking, so what are the ways teachers then contextualize? What are the ways students are contextualized? So these are the questions which will be asked, which will be, anybody from education perspective reading your thesis will be looking for those answers. That was my comment and suggestion that I have provided you in a separate page. Similarly, in second question also, how does school gardening evolve as a pedagogical model in STEAM-based learning? Very beautiful, very beautiful. But when we say evolve as a pedagogical model, then we must reflect on what is pedagogical model. What should be there in a pedagogical model? When we talk about pedagogical model, we should always be mindful of learning mind, body, and skill from Eastern philosophy. But nonetheless, if you look at here, cognitive aspect, skill aspect, and cognitive aspect, skill aspect, and pedagogy, attitudinal aspect, they are covered in your stories, yes. But then again, I have to interpret, I have to make out. This thesis, a research report should clearly find out, okay, in my pedagogical aspect, these are the knowledge aspect, cognitive development aspect I have designed in my research to find out how it works. These are the things, skill aspect, these are the things, attitudinal aspect. And besides that, you should also spread the learning stages, how students are moved from where they are to higher level of learning. Pedagogical model should also consist of that part. teacher-student relationship you have explicated in me with many stories. Yeah, you posted a picture, latest picture that you received. That proves the relationship develop, pedagogical relationship develop between a student and the faculty and the researcher. Very good. But then you have to capture that from educational concept and educational nomenclature part of aspect. So that was what I was expecting, and then tried to comment to you. And then the last part, what are the challenges and prospects to implement school gardening as a STEAM pedagogy? Then also there are plenty of things you have written, but as a research outcome, they have not stood up very explicitly. So my suggestion for your future improvement in your preparation of research-based writing, that should come up. And the dissertation, having said this, I think I've already mentioned this, but just to reiterate, the dissertation should focus on addressing the research question, explicitly addressing the key concepts. The final chapter should list synthesize, reflection, and conclusion, not just the collection of different participants of the action research. Major finding outcomes should be drawn, focus to research purpose and the question. They have again come in your writing. Yes, they are there in the writing, but it's all in the whole, mix up. So this part should be addressed. Now, narrative approach is good, but narrative approach, where does narrative approach comes? You understand that, and you have stated that this is for understanding the experiences in the actual experiential condition of the participant of the action research. Very good, very good, very good interpretation. But then these narratives, we as the scholars trying to use narrative as tool for our research, as medium for our research, as a model of our research, should use narrative, should respect narrative, should use narrative, but nonetheless, you are not exempt from putting those narratives in a thematic way and analyzing the narratives themselves. So the research methodology in the research approaches, I presume you are aware of many of the research approaches where the qualitative analysis models are developed utilizing the narratives themselves. It is not only putting up narratives. So having said that, these are some of the critical aspect, some of the analysis aspect of the thesis that I share with you. And I thank you for trying to address my comments, but nonetheless, I have looked at your revised thesis. I am not fully satisfied, but nonetheless, for your purpose, I mean, you have proven your capability to undertake the research. You have taken your capability to bring out the writing. So that way, I think this thesis, nonetheless, is.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank
you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
My comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. को कमेन्टलाई उहाँले सकेसम्म एड्रेस गर्नुहुन्छ. Of course, there are two paradigms of knowing. One is narrative knowing, the other is propositional knowing. And sir को comment चाहिँ more propositional way of knowing बाट आएको छ. Of course, त्यसमा हामी हेरेर कति एड्रेस गर्न सक्छौं. I would like to invite then go with Dr. Avasthi, Lavdev Avasthi, sir. I would like to invite you.
Thank you. Respected Dean, sir, or respected Hriday, sir. It's a great honor. All distinguished colleagues are also here. Most of the things have been covered, so I would share very limited things at this stage, but very impressive. I'm so happy to see Sanjay ji with this kind of very unique approach to unfolding knowledge, particularly in STEAM education. As Hriday sir also indicated that we are very much impressed by the way that Sanjay ji has articulated the theme and also try to enter into the whole process of generating new knowledge. That's a very impressive part of this research. I'm so happy to see the way that you have gone into the entire phase of transforming yourself. That's another visible change that we are witnessing. Few things from my side. One particular issue, for example, Sanjay ji, when I looked at your diagram, this integrated diagram, that diagram talks about technology, engineering, science, mathematics, art. Does this kind of framework really respond to all the curricular competencies that are um, deemed necessary for the attainment of school education, or what is your understanding? What is the basis for you to only limiting your integration with these five major areas? What about the total competencies that are critical for our students learning? Any observation, Sanjay ji?
Sir, namaskar, sir.
Namaskar.
Actually, regarding this question, STEAM has been considered as a approach of teaching and learning. It's a multidisciplinary way of knowing things only. So, by science, I don't mean the subject as a science as such, but the science, the approach the science takes, like inquiry-based approach, has been considered. And by arts, I mean like incorporating not just the songs or the dance only, but rather various forms of arts, even the language as art. So this science, technology, engineering, by engineering I mean here, sir, the design thinking perspective, the ability to use science in a practical way, uh, in a designed way. For example, technology, the uh, for technology, I mean like when we use science for the benefit of human beings, for the welfare of society, it is called technology. So the subject as such has not been considered in the STEAM perspective, but their approach has been valued. So not only the science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, various domains of knowledge should be and have been considered during my research. For example, our knowledge tradition system, the local resources, and the knowledge. So I don't mean by STEAM just the five disciplines only, sir.
Okay, that's very good. Fair enough. That's very interesting, Sanjay ji. Just to build on what you have shared, if that is the case, how do you ensure this forum that your proposal of STEAM pedagogy is a competent process to respond to the curricular aspirations? Can that respond to the demand of the curricula, or how do you make it more corresponding with the curricular designing? Is there any kind of correlation between the proposal that you are making and also corresponding connection with the aspirations of curriculum?
So for this, I had sought for the contextualization of the curricula, basically being in a small village of Cabre. So, but the while understanding the local problems and the local issues, and while working in order to solve those issues, uh, I think we could just work on developing a curricula, or the bridge some gap that is existing in our curricula.
The question is how तपाईँको नेसनल करिकुलासँग कसरी जोडिन्छ तपाईँको अप्रोच भन्ने हो क्या अहिले करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्कसँग
हो सही हो
अहिलेको करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्कमा कुरा गर्दा चाहिँ नि यो स्थानीय पाठ्यक्रमको कुराहरू छ, र स्थानीय स्रोत साधनको धेरैभन्दा धेरै उपयोग र त्यसलाई एप्रिसिएट गर्दै त्यसलाई शिक्षण सिकाइको विधि पद्धति प्रक्रियामा ल्याउने भन्ने चाहिँ स्कुल गार्डनिङको यो अहिलेको यो कामको चाहिँ त्यो एप्रोच भयो सर। अनि त्यसले चाहिँ इन्टिग्रेटेड करिकुलमलाई नै
ठिक
मद्दत
हो
गर्छ।
होइन, डिन सरले नि भन्नुभयो नि, वास्तव हाम्रो चाहना के हो भने इन्टिग्रेटेड अप्रोच भनेको अथवा यो स्टिम पेडागोजी भनेको कुनै एउटा सेपरेट एन्टिटीको छुट्टै नभइकन अहिलेको करिकुलर जो हाम्रो रिक्वायरमेन्ट छ त्यसलाई एड्रेस गर्ने र अहिलेकै गिभन फ्रेमवर्कमा यो चाहिँ अलाइन हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ अलिक प्रश्न नभएको भएर यो कुरा आएको हो। त्यसलाई कसरी मिलाइदिन्छ, किन हाम्रो चाहना के छ भने स्टिम एकातिर, स्टिम पेडागोजी छुट्टै, अनि त्यसपछि अहिलेको अरू करिकुलर डेलिभरी छुट्टै भन्ने त होइन नि त्यो त। यो त हामीले सोचेको कस्तो भने टोटल स्कुलको ट्रान्सफर्मेसन भित्र गार्डनिङलाई चाहिँ इन्टिग्रेसन गरेर लाने भन्ने होइन त्यो हाम्रो सोचाइ
हो सर।
हो। त्यस्तो भने अब बालचन्द्र सर स्वयं यसको विज्ञ हुनुहुन्छ। अब त्यसपछि हाम्रो सरहरू सबै मनोज सर पनि यहाँ हुनुहुन्छ। मैले खालि गरेको अहिलेको यसलाई अल्टरनेटिभ नबनाइकन यो स्टिम पेडागोजी के जुन छ नि यसलाई त गार्डनिङको हिसाबले जाँदाखेरि त धेरै कुरा यसमा जोडिने देख्छु क्या मैले। जस्तै नर्वेकै इक्जाम्पल छ, मनोज सर यहाँ स्वयं हुनुहुन्छ। नर्वेले सबै कुराहरू किसानी गरेको मान्छे कहाँ लैजान्छ, फार्मिङमा लैजान्छ, ल्याङ्ग्वेज त्यही छ, म्याथमेटिक्स त्यही छ, साइन्स त्यही छ, सबै कुराको एउटा चाहिँ होलिस्टिक थिमेटिक जुन तपाईँले अघि भन्नुभएको छ नि त्यो किसिमको एप्रोचबाट जान सक्यो भने यसलाई सेपरेट एउटा प्यारलल एन्टिटी बनाउन आवश्यक छैन भन्ने हिसाबले मैले भनेको। अघि हृदय सरले त्यो कुरा टच गर्नुभएको छ। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि सम्भव छ भने है, मैले एउटा राम्रो उदाहरण हुन्छ कि बालचन्द्र सर स्वयं यसमा जोडिनु भएको छ। हामीलाई चाहना के छ भने हाम्रो यो गार्डनिङ भनेको एउटा कम्पिटेन्ट पेडागोजिकल प्रोसेस हो भन्ने कुरा डेमोन्स्ट्रेट गर्न सक्यो र त्यसले होल स्कुलको रिक्वायरमेन्टलाई चाहिँ एड्रेस गर्छ भन्ने सम्भावना भयो भने त्यो धेरै राम्रो हुन्थ्यो भन्ने चाहना हो हाम्रो डिन सरको, हाम्रो सबैको। त्यसमा कतिको सम्भावना छ?
त्यसमा सर मैले चाहिँ अब यो गार्डनिङमा नमोबुद्धमा काम गर्दै गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो गार्डनिङभित्र छिरेर काम गर्दै गर्दाखेरि त्यहीँ भित्रबाट चाहिँ हाम्रो नेपाली मोडेल अफ चाहिँ लर्निङ चाहिँ हाम्रो कन्टेक्चुअलाइजेसन गर्न सक्ने हो भने एउटा मैले त्यहाँ टर्म पनि राखेको छु नेपाली स्टिम भनेर। त्यो तरिकाले हाम्रो अहिलेको इस्युहरूलाई पनि सल्भ गर्न सक्ने सामर्थ्य चाहिँ स्कुल गार्डनिङले राख्छ भन्ने चाहिँ मेरो विश्वास छ सर।
हो, त्यही मैले एकदम ह्युज पोटेन्सियल देखाएर भनेको तपाईँ यति दुःख गरे, यति राम्रो काम गर्नुभएको छ, हामीलाई धेरै उत्साह आएको छ क्या। यो त यति इनोभेटिभ लाग्यो मलाई कि मैले एकदमै हेरेँ, यति इन्जोय गरेँ, धेरै राम्रो छ। हृदय सर हामी एकदमै सहमत छौँ त्यसमा। खालि के भने यसको जो एरिया तपाईँले अझै पनि त्यो सिस्टममा टोटल इन्टिग्रेसनको हिसाबले हेर्नु भएको छैन। त्यस कारणले मिल्यो भने चाहिँ मलाई लाग्छ स्कुलको पेडागोजिकल प्रोसेस नै एउटा भायबल गार्डनिङ एप्रोच हो भन्ने किसिमले त्यो मेसेज आउनु पायो भने आई थिङ्क द्याट कुड बी अ वन्डरफुल कन्ट्रिब्युसन भन्ने भयो। मैले अबको कुरा जवाब दिनु परेन, मैले एक दुईवटा कुरा मात्रै भन्छु। तपाईँले प्लेस पेडागोजी भन्नुभएको चाहिँ एकदम राम्रो छ, तर त्यो प्लेस पेडागोजीको अलिकति केही हामीले चाहिँ अहिलेको करिकुलम चाहिँ धेरै जसो केन्द्रीकृत छ। त्यस कारणले प्लेस पेडागोजीको सम्बन्ध यो केन्द्रीकृत थिमेटिक जो हाम्रो करिकुलर रिक्वायरमेन्ट छ त्यो कसरी अलाइन गर्ने भन्ने। जस्तो नर्वेमा अथवा स्क्यान्डिनेभियामा चाहिँ करिकुलम पनि लोकली कन्स्ट्रक्टेड छ धेरै छ होइन, त्यो चाहिँ त्यहाँको कन्टेन्ट त्यहाँको सबै रिक्वायरमेन्ट अनुसार एड्रेस गर्छ। हाम्रो चाहिँ अलिकति तपाईँले भनेको प्लेस पेडागोजीमा जाने हो भने पेडागोजीको र कन्टेन्टको अलाइनमेन्ट कसरी खोज्ने भन्ने अलिकति यो चाहिँ के यसको हाम्रो छलफल गर्नुपर्ने हुनसक्छ।
सरको त इन्टरनेटै गयो जस्तो छ।
यार भन्नुभएको छ नि, यो भने के हो?
हजुर सर,
इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इन द सेकंड साइकल अफ PAR भन्नुभएको छ नि।
त्यसमा
यो इन्टिग्रेट तल तपाईले राख्नुभयो त्यो रिकमेन्डेसन हो। त्यो चाहिँ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस कसरी इन्टिग्रेसन हुन्छ त्यसमा भनेको।
हजुर सर, त्यहाँ अनगोइङ गार्डनिङ प्रोसेसमा चाहिँ त्यो पार्टिसिपेटरी एक्सन रिसर्चको सेकेन्ड साइकलमा आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ त्यहाँ रोग किराहरू लागेको अनि बिरुवाहरू चाहिँ नि धेरै क्षति, भेजिटेबलहरू धेरै क्षति भइसकेपछि चाहिँ अब शिक्षक साथीहरूले जाउँ वनस्पति विज्ञ अथवा एग्रो जेटिए सरहरू कता हुनुहुन्छ भन्ने कुरा भयो। उहाँसँग भेट्न पनि पाइएन। नभेटिसकेपछि अब त्यो रोग केले लाग्छ, कसरी लाग्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ हामीले गुगल हेरेर पनि बुझ्न सक्ने भयौँ भन्ने कुरा आयो। अनि हेर्दै जाँदा खोज्दै जाँदा त हामीले त अलिक बढी इन्टरेक्सन गर्ने हो, छलफल गर्ने हो भने त सानो एउटा चाहिँ नि आर्टिफिसियल इन्टेलिजेन्स भनेको हामी नहुँदा पनि रोग लाग्यो तेरो बिरुवामा भनेर मोबाइलमा मेसेज पठाइदिने खालको सानो एउटा डिभाइस बनाउने त भन्ने कुरा भयो को रिसर्चरहरूबाट। अनि त्यसलाई चाहिँ मैले
ठिक छ, प्रश्न भयो अहिले प्रश्न हो, मैले नबुझा भएर त्यो तपाईँले कन्टेक्स्ट बताइदिनु मलाई सजिलो भयो। मैले लास्टमा छु एउटा दुईटा कुरा के भन्छ तपाईँले यो अन्तिममा तपाईँले हाउ डु मल्टिपल प्याराडाइम्स इन्टरफेसको कुरा चाहिँ मलाई एकदम मन पर्यो तपाईँको अप्रोच होइन। यो धेरैले सक्दैन यो कुरा, पोजिटिभिजम र क्रिटिकलिजमलाई सँगै लाने भनेको धेरै ठुलो चुनौती हो यो होइन। तपाईँले यो चाहिँ अब एक्सपेरिमेन्टल प्रोजेक्टको डिजाइनबाट ती कुरा गरेर अनि क्रिटिकलिजममा जाने कुरा चाहिँ एकदमै इन्ट्रेस्टिङ छ। यसमा अब हृदय सरले पनि बढी दक्षता राख्नुहुन्छ। त्यो अलाइनमेन्ट चाहिँ अझै अलिक प्रश्न भएको छैन, किन पोजिटिभिजमको जो एउटा ट्रेडिसन छ, मेथोलोजिकल त्यसका एट्रिब्युट्स र यतापट्टिको तपाईँले इन्टरप्रेटिभिजम क्रिटिकलिजमको एट्रिब्युट चाहिँ अलिकति फरक हुने भएको होला। हाम्रो स्कुल सिस्टममा त्यो कसरी अलाइन गर्ने भन्ने कुरा थोरै चुनौतीपूर्ण देख्छु मैले। त्यो बारेमा केही छलफल गर्नु कि तपाईँ त पोस्ट मोडर्निजमसम्म पुग्नुभयो नि त, त्यो त पुरै धार तपाईँले त्यो कन्टिन्युमलाई सबै क्याप्चर गर्नुभयो होइन। इभन कि पोजिटिभिजम पनि छैन, पोजिटिभिजमबाट तपाईँले ल्याउनु भयो। पोजिटिभिजमबाट गएर पोस्ट मोडर्निजमसम्मको जो क्रिटिकल धारलाई समेत क्याप्चर गरेर तपाईँले एउटा प्याराडिग्मेटिक कन्टिन्युम इस्टाब्लिस गर्नुभएको छ। त्यो धेरै एउटा महत्त्वपूर्ण तपाईँको रिसर्चको आउटकम हो। तर त्यसलाई कसरी अलाइन गर्ने, कसरी ती कुरा जोडिन्छन्, कि यो त धेरै डिमान्डिङ छ नि त, धारै फरक हो नि। त्यस कारण ती धारहरूको अन्तर सम्बन्ध, त्यसलाई एउटा इन्टिग्रेसन कसरी गर्ने भन्ने कुरा त्यति खुलेको छैन। एउटा चाहिँ सामान्य हिसाबले हेरिदिनु पर्ला। मैले मोटामोटीमा यिनै कुरा गरेँ, तर धेरै इम्प्रेसिभ छ। त्यसलाई डिलिमिटेसनमा पनि अलिकति के कुरा समस्या देख्छु मैले। जस्तै अब स्कुल गार्डनिङ सुड बी अन्डरस्टुड एज जस्ट वान डाइमेन्सन अफ स्टिम एजुकेसन भन्नुभएको छ। त्यो भने चाहिँ अलिकति माथिको स्पिड चाहिँ क्याप्चर भएको छैन। मैले धेरै अपेक्षा गरे भएर पनि होला, किन मैले त तपाईँको स्कुल गार्डनिङ सुड बी अन्डरस्टुड एज जस्ट वान डाइमेन्सन अफ स्टिम एजुकेसन भने भएर यसलाई चाहिँ अलिकति सङ्कुचन गरे जस्तो देखेँ क्या मैले होइन। त्यो कुरा कति अब किन तपाईँको डेलिभरी, यसको थट, यसको चाहिँ जुन किसिमको एउटा अहिलेको बुझाइ छ त्यो चाहिँ धेरै इम्प्रेसिभ छ। तर तपाईँले डिलिमिटेड गर्दाखेरि के भनिदिनु भने एउटा सानो एरिया मात्रै मैले कभर गरेको भन्ने आशयले हो भने चाहिँ त्यो अलिकति करेस्पोन्डिङ भएको छैन। मैले यति नै अनुरोध गरेँ, तर तपाईँलाई एकदम बधाई छ। मलाई धेरै खुसी लाग्यो भएर तपाईँको आई रियली एप्रिसिएट योर एप्रोच एन्ड द वे द्याट यु हेभ बिन इन्गेज इन दिस होल प्रोसेस। मैले एकदम शुभकामना सहित डिन सर मैले हजुरलाई नमस्कार गरेर अनुरोध गरेँ। हस्,
थ्याङ्क यू भेरी मच। मैले धनपति सरलाई इन्भाइट गरेँ।
Thank you, Dean sir, for this opportunity. I think Sanjay sir really very happy to go through your work. असाध्यै राम्रो लाग्यो। I really appreciate your effort. अनि हाम्रा एजुकेसनका रिसर्चहरू यसरी नै गयो भने धेरै चाहिँ नै परिवर्तन पक्कै पनि हामीले ल्याउन सक्छौँ। This is what I have realized after going through your presentation. I really appreciate. But one thing that I found in your thesis, after going through your thesis and after listening to your presentation, definitely there is a knowledge change among participants and the people where you work for. And the perception change also I realized. Dialogical change also is there. Behavioral change also you advocated. Situational change, you also advocated AI integration. And you also advocated STEAM approach. Now tell us, how do you link all these changes or the transformation with theoretical reference that you have used? Do theories which you have used inform all these things, or only practice inform all these things? That triangulation, what we say, or integration, two part, I think, which is very, very crucial, but has not yet been addressed in your work. त्यो मैले पाएँ है सञ्जय सर, तपाईँलाई कस्तो लाग्छ? You can reflect on it.
हजुर हो सर, मैले त्यहाँ एक्सपिरियन्सियल लर्निङ र ट्रान्सफर्मेटिभ लर्निङ त्यो दुईटा कुरालाई चाहिँ थ्योरिटिकल लेन्सको रूपमा हेरेको छु। अब
हो नि त। त्यसो भए नलेज चेन्जमा ल छोडिदिउँ मैले सरसर्ती तपाईँको चाहिँ नि हेर्दाखेरि नलेज, पर्सेप्सन, डायोलोजिकल, बिहेभियरल र सिचुएसनल र सिचुएसन पनि त्यहाँ चेन्ज भयो। तपाईँले देखाउनु भयो त्यहाँ किवी फलेका छन्, मान्छेले टमाटर बेचेको छन्, त्यो अवस्थासम्म हामी आयौँ। कुन डिलेमा थियो, कुन कन्टेम्प्लेसनमा तपाईँ आउनुभयो र इन्टरभेन्सन प्याकेज बनाउनु भयो र कसरी वे आउट चेन्ज भयो भन्ने कुरा थियोरिटिकल्ली त्यसलाई इन्फर्म त गर्नुपर्छ होला नि। मेरो त्यति हो भनाइ। एक्सपेरिएन्सियल लर्निङ हो भने पनि, कल्बको एक्सपेरिएन्सियल लर्निङ तपाईँले युज गरे हो भने पनि पक्कै पनि त डिफ्रेन्ट फेजमा कसरी त्यो सम्भव भयो भने त्यो थियोरीले इन्फर्म गरेको छ नि। त्यो प्र्याक्टिसलाई तपाईँले थियोरीले इन्फर्म गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने मेरो चाहिँ सानो अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ र सानो बुझाइरह्यो। थ्याङ्क यू। रेस्ट अफ द थिङ रियल्ली भेरी फाइन। मैले त चाहन्छु यस्तै पार्टिसिपेटरी एक्सन रिसर्चबाट एजुकेसनमा परिवर्तन आउन सक्छ। थ्याङ्क यू सो मच फर योर हार्ड वर्क एन्ड द एफर्ट टु कम टु दिस स्टेज। थ्याङ्क यू। ओभर टु यु टिम सर। Vinod sir, I think you can carry on. Vinod sir?
हजुर सर आउनु होला। हजुरले गरौँ न त त्यसो भए यहाँ सरहरूलाई बोलाउन अरू।
पन्त सर हजुरले गर्नुहोस् न प्लिज।
हो ओके, बाल सर पनि पक्कै जोइन हुँदै हुनुहुन्छ होला। नाउ आई प्रोसिड विथ द रिसर्च कमिटी मेम्बर। आई क्यान सी सुरेश गौतम सर इज हियर। सुरेश सर, डाक्टर सुरेश गौतम।
Thank you, Vinod sir, for inviting me. This is a wonderful research, trying to bring several concepts to link up with STEAM pedagogy, place-based pedagogy, experiential learning or pedagogy, transformative learning or pedagogies, right? So that's a wonderful idea. While reading, I just try to wonder, so where is the space, or how STEAM pedagogy has been shifted from objective scientific reality to the constructionism, or even far beyond than the postmodernism in presenting ideas, right? Later half, theoretically, it sounds very excellent, because you are talking about inquiry-based pedagogy, and it can be shifted from the continuum from thinking or working or doing scientifically to the to preserving the aesthetic values of school garden. That's the continuum, but I'm a little missing in my reading to connect these different dots of different terms, like scientific observation or participatory observation, or non-participatory observation kind of things. When and where you followed particular, you informed by the particular tradition of education and research to generate a kind of holistic STEAM pedagogy. So I'm wondering on to look at from that perspective. Thank you very much, Vinod sir.
Okay, thank you, Suresh sir. I think Sanjay sir can respond it later. Now, okay. Okay, sir. मैले डाक्टर रोशनी राजवंशी म्यामलाई बोलाउँछु अनि सरले कन्टिन्यू गर्न। रोशनी म्याम, सुरेश सरले बोल्नुभयो। नाउ रोशनी म्याम। रोशनी म्याम।
हजुर सर, थ्याङ्क यू सर। म मेरो पनि अलिकति अब्जर्भेसन छ, अनि सरले अलिकति भनिसक्नुभयो, धेरैजनाकोसँग मिलेको पनि छ मैले भन्न खोजेको कुरा। सो पहिलो कुरा चाहिँ मैले हेर्दै जाँदाखेरि तपाईँको एपिएफ फर्मेट रेफरेन्सेसमा एकदमै नमिलेको देखेँ होइन। त्यो एकचोटि प्लिज चेक गर्नु होला। इभन द मिस्टेक्स आर देयर होइन। धर्मशालाको डी स्मलदेखि लिएर त्यो उसमा चाहिँ गएको छ, त्यो एकचोटि चेक गर्नु होला। अनि मलाई लागेको आई थिङ्क द्याट योर द वे यु प्रेजेन्टेड टुडे एन्ड द वे यु हेभ रिटन युर डिजर्टेसन इज मोर प्रोसेस फोकस रादर देन द फाइन्डिङ्सहरू होइन। त्यो कुरामा सरहरूले पनि भनिसक्नुभयो। सो वाट आर द थिम्स होइन त्यो चाहिँ तपाईँको डेटाले चाहिँ थिम्स ल्याउनु पर्ने कुरामा चाहिँ अलिकति त्यो अलिकति पुगेन जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई, अलिक डिटेल आउट गर्नु पुगेन जस्तो लाग्छ होइन। तपाईँले धेरै काम गर्नुभएको छ, वी हेभ बिन टुगेदर एन्ड आई हेभ सिन योर प्रोग्रेस फ्रम द बिगिनिङ टिल द एन्ड होइन। एकदम धेरै हेर्दा हेर्दै पनि डिजर्टेसनमा चाहिँ त्यो तपाईँले गर्नुभएको कुराहरू चाहिँ अलिकति खुलेर आएको छैन जस्तो लागेको छ मलाई होइन। सो अल्सो अघि धनपति सरले पनि भन्नुभयो ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको कुरा गर्नुभएको छ भने वाट इज द ट्रान्सफर्मेसन इन यु होइन, त्यो तपाईँमा के ट्रान्सफर्मेसन आयो, अनि सेल्फ ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको कुरा गर्नुभएको छ, त्यो एकदमै छोटो छ होइन। So what are the other transformation you notice in yourself and also in the co-researcher होइन, किनभने पार्टिसिपेटरी एक्सन रिसर्चको भनेको एउटा ओनरसिप लिने हो, इम्पावरमेन्ट गर्ने हो, त्यो कुराहरू सबै भएको छ। आई हेभ सिन द्याट इन द टिचर्स बट आई हेभन सिन द्याट इन द डिजर्टेसन इट्सेल्फ होइन। अनि यसलाई चाहिँ तपाईँले गरिराख्नु भएको प्रोसेस त्यो डिजर्टेसनको चाहिँ अब एउटा सस्टेनेबिलिटी त्यो पनि क्वेसन आउँछ होइन। सो वाट ह्याभ यु इन्भिजन फर द्याट भन् त्यो के छ होइन जस्तो कुरा चाहिँ अलिकति मलाई त्यो अलिकति डिटेल आउट गरिदिनु भयो भने अझै राम्रो हुन्छ कि जस्तो लागेको छ मलाई होइन। सो बिसाइड्स द्याट कम्युनिटी इन्गेजमेन्ट तपाईँको जुन सुड बी वान अफ द थिम जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई हेर्दाखेरि एज आई हेभ बिन विथ यु होइन। त्यो कम्युनिटी इन्गेजमेन्टमा चाहिँ तपाईँले धेरै कुराहरू लिएर आउनुभएको छ, कम्युनिटीको कुरा लिएर आउनुभएको छ, तर कम्युनिटीलाई इम्पावरमेन्ट गर्ने कुराहरू चाहिँ अलिकति भएको त्यो चाहिँ अलिकति कमी भएको जस्तो लाग्छ होइन। सो आई थिङ्क अलिकति मैले भन्नुपर्दाखेरि चाहिँ नलेज डिसेमिनेसन फ्रम द स्कुल to the community, being you as a researcher, you being the path होइन, त्यो चाहिँ अलिकति खुलाइदिनु पर्छ कि जस्तो लागेको छ मलाई होइन। सो आई थिङ्क अरू कुरा चाहिँ सरहरूले पनि भनिसक्नु भएको भएर मैले चाहिँ यति कुरा एड गरेँ। थ्याङ्क यू दिन्छ।
ओके, सुरेश सरले बोलिसक्नुभयो?
सुरेश सरले बोल्नुभयो सर?
बोलिसकेँ सर, बोलिसकेँ मैले।
अब यसपछि म इन्द्रमणि श्रेष्ठ सरलाई इन्भाइट गरेँ।
Okay, thank you, Dean sir. Sanjay sir, first of all, congratulations to you for this wonderful dissertation. My one query is that regarding the sustainability and sustainable goals, when I went scanned your dissertation, I got to find that at 2 stages you have discussed about sustainable development goals in page number 92 and 124 pages, and in 92 you have discussed that one of Nepal's sustainable goals aims for 2030 is to achieve universal and equitable access to clean, affordable drinking water, sanitation, and hygiene, something like that. So I think, don't you think that you are missing to connect your research with these sustainable goals, development goals? Sanjay sir.
हजुर सर, एकचोटि फेरि भन्नुहोस् सर, मैले अलिकति
तपाईलाई लागेको छैन कि यो जस्तो नि
एसडीजी गोल्ससँग कनेक्ट गर्नु भयो कि गर्नु भएन भने सस्टेनेबल डेभलपमेन्ट गोल्ससँग
तपाईलाई त्यो महसुस भयो कि भएन, गरेको देखे जस्तो लागेन मलाई कि के छ?
अब यसमा एसटिजी को धेरै जस्तै एसटिजी 4 देखि लिएर क्लाइमेटका कुराहरू अनि फुड एन्ड त्यो क्रपको कुराहरू पनि आउने भएको भएर मैले त्यसलाई इन्टर रिलेट चाहिँ त्यसरी त्यहाँ लुजली चाहिँ एक दुई ठाउँमा गरेछ सर, तर सरले अलिक स्पेसिफिकल्ली भन्नुभयो होला है सर, एसटिजी यो धारा यो बुदासँग यसरी भनेर।
हजुर हजुर
हजुर, त्यसलाई म जोड्छु सर।
त्यही त मलाई के लाग्यो भने अब जस्तो किनभने अब सस्टेनेबिलिटीको कुराहरू आए होइन, अनि त्यसमा पनि अब ग्रिन स्कुलको कुरा गर्नुभएको छ, अनि प्लेस बेस्ड पेडागोजीको कुराहरू गर्नुभएको छ होइन, त्यो अब गरेको छ, कन्टेक्चुअलाइजेसन कुराहरू छ, अनि यो एसडिजी गोल्सहरूसँग चाहिँ नि जोड्न सक्यो भने, किनभने तपाईँको अब त्यो वर्क हेर्दाखेरि त्यो छ क्या त्यहाँनिर निकै गोल्सहरू तपाईँको कनेक्ट हुन्छ त्यसमा। अनि त्यसलाई पनि तपाईँले कनेक्ट गर्न सक्नुभयो भने के होला भन्ने मेरो कुरा हो सर। यति नै हो। कङ्ग्रेचुलेसन्स टु यु अगेन वन्स अगेन। इट इज अ वन्डरफुल पिस अफ थिसिस।
हजुर हस् धन्यवाद छ। हजुरले भनेको कुरा मैले त्यहाँ एउटा त्यो सस्टेनेबिलिटी भन्ने चाहिँ एउटा छुट्टै कन्टेन्ट एउटा च्याप्टर नै क्रिएट गरेर त्यो सस्टेनेबिलिटी चाहिँ कसरी दिन्छ स्कुल गार्डनले भनेर गरेको छु। अब गोलसँग चाहिँ स्पेसिफिकली म जोड्छु सर। मैले अब अपडेट गर्छु, करेक्सन गर्छु। धन्यवाद।
च्याप्टर थप्ने कुरा नगर्नुहोस्, अघि एक्सटर्नलले भनिसक्नु हो। You don't need to expand your chapter. Okay, now I invite Niroj Dal sir. म हेड अफ डिपार्टमेन्टलाई लास्टमा बोलाउँछु, सन्डे डिपार्टमेन्टलाई। हामीले
Okay, thank you, Balsad. So I don't have much thing. So very first thing is I just want to congratulate Sanjay Kumar Pant sir. Now, after completing these projects, so how you suggest to the people or the researchers who are thinking to use this gardening in school system as a STEM pedagogy? So what are your like the suggestion or take away that each new researcher or the novice researcher could take on?
Actually, the takeaway message from my research could be the first could be the perspectival shift. चाहिँ नि त्यो रिसिपेन्टमा चाहिँ पहिला चाहिँ पर्सपेक्टिभल सिफ्ट चाहिँ आउनुपर्छ स्कुल गार्डनिङको लागि।
तपाईँले गर्न नसकेको एरिया के हो भन्न खोज्या। अब के गर्नुपर्छ नयाँ रिसर्चरले, तपाईँले के चाहिँ लेफ्ट आउट गर्नु त्यो भयो भन्न खोज्या। कहाँ यहाँ उपदेश दिने हो
त्यो यसको अब चाहिँ अब पार एज सच अब पारको एउटा चाहिँ नि डिलिमिटेसनकै कुरा गर्दाखेरि पनि अब ठ्याक्कै यसैलाई उता अरू ठाउँमा कपी गर्न सकिँदैन। तर अब मेरोले अब स्कुल गार्डनिङमा काम गर्दाखेरि स्कुल गार्डनिङलाई पेडागोजीसँग कनेक्ट गर्नलाई केही हदसम्म काम गरेछ। तर अझै यसलाई चाहिँ नि रिपिटेडली केही साइकलहरू चाहिँ अब्जर्भ गरेर चाहिँ अगाडि बढ्नुपर्ने हुन्छ, त्यो भएको छैन होइन सर। अनि अर्को कुरा चाहिँ यसको धेरै डाइमेन्सनहरू छ सर। जुन जस्तै त्यहाँ अब दाप्चामा जुन काम गरियो सर, त्यसलाई अब हेल्थ एन्ड हाइजिनसँग पनि जोड्न सकिन्छ। अहिले त्यहाँ भेजिटेबलहरू हार्भेस्ट भइरहेछ, किवीहरू चाहिँ उत्पादन सुरु भइसक्यो भनेपछि मैले त्यो परसम्म चाहिँ सस्टेनेबिलिटीको कुरा गर्दाखेरि मैले चाहिँ 6 महिनादेखि 1 वर्षको पिरियडसम्म मैले स्टडी गरेँ। तर यो चाहिँ अलि लामो अवधिसम्म स्टडी गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ, त्यो चाहिँ भएको छैन। अलिकति लामै समयसम्म अध्ययन गरेर जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ यसको कन्क्लुजनहरू यसको फाइन्डिङ्सहरू चाहिँ अझै बढी अलि बढी रेलेभेन्ट भएर आउँछन् भन्ने लाग्छ सर।
Okay, like so last one more question, अलिकति इन्ट्रेस्टेड क्वेसन भएको हुनाले। सो यसमा चाहिँ अलिकति स्टिमको मेन डिमेन्सन भित्र चाहिँ लाइक हाउ लर्नर्स वेयर इन्गेजिङ, लर्नरलाई कुन पार्टमा इन्गेज गर्न सक्यो अथवा इन्गेज गर्न सकेन, वाट आर युर रिफ्लेक्सन अन द्याट पार्ट? जसलाई जस्तो लर्नर भनेको टिचर हुन सक्लान्, रिसर्चर हुन सक्लान्, विद्यार्थी हुन सक्लान्, को रिसर्चर हुन सक्ला, के छ त्यसको चाहिँ वाट आर दोज डिमेन्सन?
अब यसमा चाहिँ सर फ्रम द भेरी बिगिनिङदेखि चाहिँ अहिले मेरो इन्गेजमेन्टको अन्तिमसम्म लर्नरसँगै बसेर काम गरेँ। यहाँ चाहिँ मैले स्कुल गार्डनिङमा काम गरेँ होइन कि स्कुल गार्डनिङको टिमसँगै बसेर काम गरे भएर, नट फर द स्कुल विथ द स्कुल काम गरे भएर एभ्री स्टेपमा चाहिँ यहाँ चाहिँ इन्गेजमेन्टहरू छ सर। त्यो हटाइदिने हो भने त यहाँ त एक्टिभिटी नै केही पनि देखिँदैन। त्यही भएर सुरुमा हामीले जग्गा खोज्नेदेखि लिएर अथवा निड एसेसमेन्टदेखि लिएर त्यो अब मैले छोड्ने बेलासम्म भनेको हार्भेस्टिङको फेजसम्म एआईको इन्टिग्रेसनसम्म जाँदाखेरि पनि रिसर्चर र को रिसर्चरको इन्गेजमेन्ट चाहिँ एकदमै भिभिड एन्ड एकदम स्ट्रङ छ भन्ने मलाई लाग्छ सर।
Okay, thank you so much for sharing this experiences. So thank you.
इन बिट्विन हामी सक्न लागेका छौँ, वी आर कमिङ।
एउटा सानो पोइन्ट,
हजुर
अघि हाम्रो लव सरले पनि कुरा उठाउनु भएको थियो। मैले यो त्यहाँ पोइन्ट मैले उहाँलाई दिँदाखेरि त्यो छुटेको पनि रहेछ, मैले बिर्सेको। त्यो के त भन्दाखेरि उहाँले एक्सपेरिमेन्टेसन पनि भन्नुभयो। त्यो एक्सपेरिमेन्टेसन एउटा त फार्मिङको एक्सपेरिमेन्टेसन भयो, अर्को चाहिँ हाम्रो पेडागोजिक एक्सपेरिमेन्टेसन नि भयो हैन। त्यो पेडागोजिक एक्सपेरिमेन्टेसनमा धेरै एउटा इम्पोर्टेन्ट कुरा के भनेदेखि we must be assured and we must be able to assure the students, parents, teachers and all stakeholders कि हाम्रो यो विद्यार्थीहरू, the students, they have learned what they need to learn and they learn better if possible. At least traditional मा जति लर्न गरेको छ त्यो त छँदैछ, if not more हैन। मोर भयो भने झन् राम्रो, मोर भनेर प्रुभ गर्न चाहिँ झनै राम्रो। यसको लागि त्यहाँ मैले देखिन जस्तो लाग्छ हाम्रो विद्यार्थीले धेरै राम्रो लर्न गर्यो नि त भन्ने कुरा, त्यो भन्न सक्ने कुराहरू के छ?
हजुर सर, त्यसमा चाहिँ त्यो मेरो यो रिसर्चको दौरानमा कस्तो भयो भने सुरुमा चाहिँ हामीले गार्डनिङमा काम गर्न सुरु गऱ्यौँ, फेरि बिचमा पेन्डेमिक आइसकेपछि विद्यार्थीको फ्लो चाहिँ हामीले एकदमै घटाउनु पर्यो सर। हामी पेन्डेमिकको बिचमै सरकारले लकडाउन गर्दा गर्दै नै हामी फिल्डमा जानुपर्ने भयो।
मैले इन्ट्रुभ गरेँ, टाइम बचाउनलाई मैले इन्ट्रुभ गरेँ है सञ्जयजी। अब जस्तै फर इक्जाम्पल, डिड द स्टुडेन्ट्स परफर्म बेटर इन देयर एक्जामिनेसन? एक होइन, डिड द स्कुल सिस्टम रिकग्नाइज्ड the student as a better student, better performance, अथवा in other way यो क्वालिटीले यो राम्रो गर्यो भन्ने कुरा त्यस्तो केही प्रुभ गर्ने छ कि छैन?
तीन-चारवटा इन्डिकेटर छन् नि त तपाईँको। विद्यार्थी संख्या बढ्यो होइन, स्टुडेन्ट पार्टिसिपेसन बढ्यो होइन, अब परीक्षाको चाहिँ डेटा यस्तो छ सर, स्कुलमा परीक्षाको डेटा ठ्याक्क छैन कि हामीले एसी हेर्नुपर्छ कि 8 कक्षाको हेर्नुपर्छ, त्यहाँ सायद बढेर नै विद्यार्थी आएको छ होला। के छ यो सञ्जयजी?
अनि हजुर यसमा सर त्यो बिचमा मैले भने नि सर, त्यो 6-8 महिना 1 वर्ष कोभिड पनि भयो, जुन टाइममा ठ्याक्कै म फिल्डमा गएको बेलामा, अनि पछि फेरि मैले कन्टिन्यू गरेँ। अनि स्कुलले चाहिँ स्टुडेन्टको डिन सरले भन्नुभएको जस्तै स्टुडेन्टको इन्गेजमेन्ट एकदमै बढ्यो। विद्यार्थी सङ्ख्या चाहिँ 20-25% जति चाहिँ विद्यार्थीको फ्लो बढ्यो नेक्स्ट इयरमा, नेक्स्ट एकाडेमिक सेसनमा बढेपछि स्कुलले चाहिँ अब यो स्कुल गार्डनिङलाई नै किन एक्सप्यान्ड नगर्ने भनेर एउटा मास्टर प्लान नै बनायो सर। त्यहाँ चाहिँ पिग फार्मिङ थप्यो सर, इक्थियोलोजी थप्यो, फिस फार्मिङ थप्यो, अनि मसरुम फार्मिङलाई जोड्यो सर, अनि हर्टिकल्चर भनेपछि उनीहरूले यसरी जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ मोर इन्गेजमेन्ट हुन्छ। अनि अन द अदर ह्यान्ड चाहिँ त्यो प्यारेन्ट्सहरूको इन्गेजमेन्ट, कम्युनिटीको लिभलीहुडमा पनि त्यसले प्रत्यक्ष लगभग 15-20 जना चाहिँ कम्युनिटीको मान्छेहरूले प्रत्यक्ष रोजगारी पाए एक्स्ट्रा। त्यहाँ चाहिँ टिचर स्टाफ बाहेक पनि हरेक दिन चाहिँ त्यहाँ बारीमा काम गर्ने, आउने, तरकारी बेच्ने गर्दाखेरि कम्युनिटी पनि ओभरअल सेटिस्फाई र विद्यार्थीको इन्गेजमेन्ट पनि बढ्यो र स्कुलले त्यसलाई एउटा मास्टर प्लानको रूपमा लिएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अनि यसको पोजिटिभ आउटकम नै आयो भन्ने चाहिँ।
अब एउटा रिसेन्ट चाहिँ सञ्जयजी इज नट इन नेपाल, ही इज अलरेडी एक्सेप्टेड इन पिएचडी प्रोग्राम एट चम्बुक युनिभर्सिटी। कहाँ अरे? चम्बुक होइन?
हजुर सर।
हो। अब पछिल्लो डेभलपमेन्ट चाहिँ के भयो भने यसो एक प्रकारको इभ्यालुएसन पनि यो नोराडको टिमले एक प्रकारको इभ्यालुएसन गरेर अहिले त्यहाँको मन्त्री, इन्टरनेसनल डेभलपमेन्टको मन्त्रीले चाहिँ भिजिट पनि गर्नुभएको छ स्कुल। यो चाहिँ काइन्ड अफ प्रोटोटाइप, दे हेभ प्रोटोटाइप्ड इट एज अ मोडल स्कुल एन्ड वेदर इट क्यान बी स्केलेबल। अब यसमा सञ्जयजीको काम चाहिँ कामको एउटा महत्त्वपूर्ण कन्ट्रिब्युसन छ डेफिनेटली त्यसमा। त्यो इम्प्याक्टको हिसाबले चाहिँ त्यसरी पनि हेर्न सकिएला। हजुर, मैले यो चाहिँ अब उहाँ हुनुहुन्न यहाँ, त्यो बिहाफमा मैले भन्ने। हस् हस्, ओके। अब यसपछि हामी लास्टमा आइपुगेका छौँ यो सेकेन्ड सेसनको। अब मैले विनोदजीलाई बोलाएँ।
सर थ्याङ्क यू सर। मैले आई हेभ बिन क्लोजली वर्किङ विथ सञ्जयजी। मैले धेरैचोटि पढेर इन्फर्मल्ली कमेन्ट दिएको छु। मेरो एउटा मात्र सेन्टेन्स उहाँलाई के भने, उहाँले जसरी सेयर गरे, जसरी यो अहिले डिस्कसन्स गरिरहेको छ, अलिकति यो पछिल्लो म आफै पनि पारको विद्यार्थी भएको नाताले यो अलि पोस्ट क्वालिटेटिभ रिसर्च पारमा चाहिँ कसरी डिफ्रेन्ट पर्सपेक्टिभलाई सँगै ल्याइन्छ र यसको चाहिँ अब्जेक्टिभली नलेज जेनेरेसन मात्र भन्दा पनि एक्सन लर्निङमा आधारित भएको हुनाले उहाँले के एक्सन गर्नुभयो र त्यहाँ के लर्निङ भयो भन्ने चिजलाई उहाँले अलिकति बढी फोकस गर्नुपर्छ होला जस्तो। अनि अहिलेको कुरामा चाहिँ आई थिङ्क इन हिज केस न्यारेटिभ्स आर मोर इभिडेन्सेस देन, होइन, ऊ टिचरले भनेको न्यारेटिभै इभिडेन्स हो। त उहाँले त्यो देखेर त्यहाँ महिनौसम्म बसेर ल्याएको स्टोरी नै इभिडेन्स हो। त्यो लाइनबाट जाँदा चाहिँ अझ बढी यसले यस्तो खालको अहिले पछिल्लो चरणमा हो कि रिसर्चको अझ अथेन्टिसिटी हुन्छ होला। नभए कि फेरि ब्याक गएर त्यो होइन नम्बरै कति लिएर आए, पहिला कति एभरेज स्कोर थियो, अहिले कति एभरेज स्कोर हो भन्नेले चाहिँ त्यति अझ जस्टिफाई नगर्ला भन्ने लाग्छ मलाई चाहिँ। अरू त मैले सञ्जयजीसँग पहिला पनि डिपार्टमेन्टमा हामीले कुराकानी गरेको छ। यति हो सर, ओभर टु यु।
म मनोज सरलाई इन्भाइट गरेँ। मनोज सर, ओभर टु यु। एनी रिफ्लेक्सन अबाउट वर्किङ विथ सञ्जयजी? हाम्रो अब कमेन्ट त हामीले पहिले नै भरमार उहाँलाई दिएर डल्लो पर्ने गरी कमेन्ट दिएका छौँ बेला बेलामा। एनी रिफ्लेक्सन अन सञ्जयज वर्क?
Yes, thank you, Bal sir. Dhanyavad sir. Definitely, I mean, I learned a lot from working with Sanjay ji in this thesis, and with you also. Learned a lot on school pedagogic and also STEAM education. And my contribution was particularly on the quotient component, a small component. But I appreciate that Sanjay ji did very, very hard work. I mean, without him, I should say that the EcoSan would not have been implemented so successfully in that school. And then it also gave an moral boost to the other project activities in other school too. So I really, really appreciate you and thank you so much. And I also appreciate that you have successfully involved the school teachers, students, and the parents. I mean, in this EcoSan project, I mean, for example, like you had involved them, the community on finding out the solution for the pesticides using the local materials. So that was fun. And I could taste the fruit that you have produced. Last time when I was there, I had opportunity to taste the mushrooms, So wonderful job, Sanjay ji. Thank you very much. And it was a wonderful thesis. And I should say that there were valuable comments from the reviewers and the research committee, and you should take it into consideration, those comments, and will improve your thesis if possible. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Manu sir. It is a kind of, Sanjay ji is having a background of masters in several subjects, and one of which is science. And Manu sir coming from engineering background, and myself coming from, I don't know what is specialized. What is my specialization these days? I introduced myself as a professor of Kathmandu University, but I did my PhD in math education, but work with science educators. And also in postdoc, I work with philosophers and ethnologists and also one mathematician. So I don't want to limit because I work with, and at KU I've been working with different people, and that has been defined as STEAM education. So of course there are limitations in this particular work because limitations are always a part of research process. And Sanjay ji, you must mention toward the end of your dissertation what is your limitation. You don't need to mention the limitation if you ask me. I have also talked to you. And about photography, I think we talked to you. And that minister's photo is particularly dangerous in the given situation of Nepal as well, and even in a context, So instead of putting minister's photo, you can put MOEST web page, screenshot. And also about other photographs, you can blur them. अनुहार नदेखिने बनाइदिनुस्. तपाईसँग त्यो टेक्नोलोजी छ, तपाईको आफ्नो देखाउनुस्, केही छैन. Blur that one. And I know you also talk to parents and took their consent to involve children and mention that as well, because that is our tradition. And other than that, try to address the comments as far as possible, but also be mindful of the tradition, research tradition, because you try to use more of narrative knowing than propositional knowing. So try to see how the comments fit, because all the comments, sometimes if you address every comment, then your dissertation would be neither of this tradition nor of this tradition, because academic research should address the tradition of the research. Okay, and research is not a monolithic term. It can be, for example, Manu sir, if the Norwegian colleague in science and environment, they do research, they do a kind of research, and if we do in a school of arts, they do something, and we do a little bit different. Research cannot be monolithic, cannot be universal. It can be defined in many ways. And this is more of R&D, research and development, going together, as Manu sir already said, because we also develop the equation through the research, and we generated knowledge, how that development contributed that knowledge. And that cannot be just represented in propositional knowing. But we also value the comments and suggestions, and we try to see Manu sir, myself, and Sanjay sir. Sanjay sir, you will be documenting the comments. So it is wonderful to work with you. So you finally defended. Now you leave the place, but don't go away. Leave in the room, but leave the leave in the room, but leave the virtual space. And
in messenger, म तपाईलाई मेसेन्जरमा जोइन हुनु भन्छु हामी छलफल
गरेर मेसेन्जरमा हामी जोइन हुन भन्छौं है त. ल एकछिन छोड्नुस्, डिस्कनेक्ट हुनुस्, तर मेसेन्जरमा कनेक्ट भइराख्नुस्. तपाईलाई फोन गर्न हामीलाई धेरै महँगो पर्छ यहाँदेखि. कोरियामा फोन गर्दा एकैपटक 100-200 रुपियाँ जान्छ त्यही भएर
So recording पनि
Thank
झिक्नु
you,
पर्ला. So
love
I'm
you.
also leaving out.
Okay, yeah, please, you also leave out. I think we, Hriday sir, we